can't do all these things at once. So my thing was that it always takes time. You always assume that they're done and satisfied, and they're not. They weren't continue. Kind of like what Bruce said, that you had to let them continue to evolve. And if they never got those players, and that was their ultimate downfall, then
yeah, no,
fellas, I got like a minute left. I gotta hop off soon.
And we're pretty much done anyway, Bruce. We'll let you go in a second, but if you damn it, you're not gonna have enough time to do the week's prediction with us. All right, so what game this week you're looking most forward to, Bruce, and which one might trip us up?
I'm looking most forward to Wednesday, the Philly game for sure. I think they're kind of full strength. We're kind of full strength. I think that'll be a fun one. Also a preview for maybe an Eastern Conference Finals.
That game will probably decide the 1 seed too, because it creates the separation in the standings plus the tiebreaker. It's like a division game in the NFL. It's a big one.
Yeah, it definitely is, with only 15-ish games left. The one I think could trip us up, I would say Minnesota. I don't know why. For some reason, we seem to have a hard time with Minnesota.
It's how it works with us.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is going to go to town, I'm sure. Will D'Lo be playing?
Yeah, he played last night.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. I'm sure D'Lo would love to show out for, against his old squad for not believing in him to be the guy. And I think that's the one that could trip us up for sure.
How much do we win by tonight before you run?
23.
I like it, man. Yo, thanks for coming on with us, man. The Nets Twitter great right there, Bruce. Bruce, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at RUFan130. I have a podcast, The Brooklyn Grit, that we put out episodes once a week, once every 2 weeks, sometimes twice a week. We're sporadic. And I appreciate you guys having me on. I hate how much I like you, Yves. I hate it.
Take it easy, buddy.
How you get along, man. I wanted you to be the Twitter villain.
I still am the Twitter villain.
We'll get together towards the playoffs. We're gonna have to set something up, like a Nets Twitter get together, open bar type deal.
Perfect. I love it.
For sure, God. Yo, go do your thing.
Guys. Really appreciate it.
Bam. Let's do the week that's coming as
And, I thought about this. We're doing this, and we don't even recap the prior week. We need to start writing this shit down, recap what happened the week before. And the only reason I'm saying that is because last week I nailed it. I was like, I was feeling that Bulls game. Just felt like a trap game. But, all right, give me the schedule for this week. We got the Lakers tonight.
Right. So start there.
Okay, so tonight, what's the spread tonight? Do you know what the spread is?
I don't have the spread in front of me. I don't have the spread.
Well, whatever
I'll
it is,
I'm
laying the points.
Really?
I don't even. Who's playing this? I think Kuzma was out the other night.
I think they're gonna want to play though. That's the thing. I think they're gonna just be out to show something.
They can want to play all they want. So the Nets, they're gonna win tonight by double digits for sure.
They win by 20 tonight. Let me stop playing.
And the T-Wolves game is a possible trap game with the Timberwolves game ahead of us.
Right.
But you got to think the Nets are looking at the standings, right? We got a nice help from the Pelicans last night. They knocked off the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
Sixers are going to be in OKC tonight. You would presume Embiid won't play. They probably win anyway, but it at least makes it palatable that they might lose. I think let's go to this. I think they beat the Timberwolves, and then it's who's after the Sixers?
Hornets.
And what day is that?
That's Friday. Okay. So they don't have a back-to-back this week. This is a nice little schedule. So they play today on Saturday, and they play again on Monday, and then Wednesday they play the Sixers, nice and comfortable with a day off. And then they come back on Friday and play the Hornets.
Do they play Saturday next week?
No, they don't.
They're going to go 4-0.
Yeah, they're going forward 4-0. I don't see a loss here at all.
Philly, they could obviously lose the Philly game. And it's a bitch that Harden is not going to be available for that. Because that really is an important game. If the Nets win that game, I don't see how Philly can overtake them. They would probably be at that point. I think they would put them because they would gain a full game just in the standings alone, which would put them 2 up. And then when you consider the tiebreaker would then go to the Nets for the season series, it's essentially a 3-game lead. And with the way the Nets win, it's going to be hard to see them squandering that over 17, 18 games.
Yeah, I think if we beat the Sixers, we're up by a whole game. If we could beat the Sixers without tripping up any other place this week, we could be 2 or 3 games ahead of them and in cruise control. Right.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it tonight. I'm going to, after we're done here, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to the liquor store. I'm going to get some stuff to make some cocktails. And I expect to be shutting the game off sometime in the late third quarter.
Dude. And everyone's going to say and make the excuses and saying, I mean, it's a legit excuse, of course.
Yeah, look.
There's no LeBron, there's no AD. But we can lose. We've played many a games without our big two, and still we've got a third guy that's such a monster.
I wish those guys were playing because to be honest, you want those litmus tests,
right?
But they're not. So and look, this is important because the Lakers, their potential final matchup at this point, they're not going to catch the Nets for record wise. So the Nets will have home court on them. When the finals come. And I was actually thinking about this the other day because every time I get high, I'm like, I sit there and I daydream about the Nets winning a title. How fucking expensive are these playoff tickets going to be?
The floor seats are $3,000 right now.
Forget the floor seats. I mean, just to get in the building with, let's say there's 7,000 people or 8,000 that they're letting in, it's going to be preposterous to get into these games.
Yeah, and I don't want to miss it. I haven't gone to a game yet because I want to go in the playoffs.
I think my strategy will be only go to games where they can close out. Like, why go to up 2-0, over the Hornets in round 1 or something like that?
Right. I'm trying to do a package but the problem is you can't ever guess. Like, I can't afford to go every single game of the entire playoffs, but
you'll drop $50,000.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. But I like to go I would like to go for at least 3 games, 3 to 5 games. Let my son see it really up close.
Yeah,
and we haven't been down there in the past few years, and I just want to see it, man. I just want to see a championship really close, and I'd be willing to drop a grip on doing that. And I hope it awakens something in my son's mind, because right now, Minecraft is a whole lot more important than basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna skip the first round probably because you figure you're not gonna get a, I'm not gonna go to a game when they're up 3-1. I could watch that at home. I don't need to spend $1,400 on a ticket. I think it's going to be $1,000 a pop probably to get in, right? Or maybe high sixes or sevens.
Anywhere, it's going to be $1,000.
Going back to the Sixers series, and that was, full capacity, and they were not a team with championship expectations. It was like $300 to get in. Maybe a little in the twos you can sit up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
If you put a team with title aspirations, these stars, and it's an Eastern Conference Finals, and let's say that's half capacity.
Right. You just have to buy you just got to try to buy the seats from them because
it's going to be almost impossible.
Yeah, this is the first time ever my broker doesn't call me back. Not even my broker, my Nets rep doesn't call me back. Right. So, yo, man, it's been a great week. Looks like it's going to be a good week. I'm Yves Darbouze. That's my guy Bam at Pass First 11 on Twitter, and I'm my government name on Twitter. We are the Front Office Podcast, and we'd like to thank you for rocking with us again.
Go
next
Nets.
Week. Exactly. Go Nets.